Today I have with me the Chief Thompsonite and a stalwart from the Indian ad agency who's helped build some of the most iconic brands in India like HUL, ITC, Godrej, Kellogg's, just to name a few. Allow me to welcome Mr. Tarun Rai, Chairman and Group CEO South Asia at Wunderman Thompson. He is an esteemed media and communication professional with 3 decades of experience in both the industries. We're so glad to have you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So let me begin with asking, WPP was perhaps one of the first holding companies to announce their cost-cutting measures. What kind of an impact did it make on the India operations of Wunderman Thompson?
Everyone was taken by surprise by the intensity of this pandemic.
Right.
What started off as a pandemic in some other country in a city called Wuhan, far away from our borders, very quickly became a global pandemic. And before we knew it, on 25th of March, we were all under lockdown. So lots of changes happened thereafter. As I said, an initial 3-week lockdown is now a 6-month lockdown. And being in Mumbai, while we have been through many unlockdowns, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we are still pretty much locked down. So it has been an unprecedented time. And fortunately for us, in terms of impact, as you know, or you may not know, or your viewers may not know, when we talk about controlling costs, when revenue is a challenge, for us, the biggest cost, and I don't even like to refer to it as a cost, I want to refer to it as an asset, is our people. So close to 70% or even more of our total costs are people costs.
Sure.
And people are our only assets. And you don't want to let good people go. Pandemic hit us. The really only place where we could cut costs were pretty much on our biggest cost head, which was people. And we didn't want to let good people go. A, it was not fair. B, why would I want to lose good talent? So what we did was, because the reality was that sooner or later, we would need to be more efficient, we would need to look at our costs. So we decided that we will go into a voluntary salary sacrifice. And therefore we asked, and it was completely voluntary, and we just suggested to our people that, this is what the reality is. We were very transparent, very honest, and it is not as if that our people didn't know. A lot of companies, a lot of our clients were doing similar things. So we just asked for a voluntary salary sacrifice, and I'm happy that a very large percentage of people participated in it. It was only at senior levels, and it was only for 3 months. And that's what we restricted it to. And that is pretty much all the cost savings that we have done or managed, besides, of course, cost savings which we could, whether it's to do with travel and stay and hotels and conferences. But that, again, is, peanuts as compared to our total costs. But of course, we saved that. As you know, even in terms of rentals, while we tried to speak to our landowners or property owners, and we did manage to get some kind of a leeway from them in terms of a discount, but that again is a small percentage. So our main costs were people costs, as at 70%, and that we didn't want to touch. So it was pretty much this voluntary salary sacrifice for 3 months, and after that we didn't extend it. And of course, the normal attrition. In our business, there is always normal attrition, which in a regular year, in a normal year, like last year, would be anywhere between 25 to 30% in a year. So therefore, that's normal attrition that happens, and that is something that did happen. And what we did was, normally when you have attrition, you replace. And this time we were careful that we should not replace unless it was critical. So I think between these two things, we have managed so far. It's been difficult because, as I keep saying, there was a revenue challenge, and advertising and communication is a derivative business. If our clients' businesses are not doing well, well, chances are that we will feel the pain, and in many cases sooner rather than later. So it was a challenging time. It continues to be a challenging time, but we have managed to do as best as we can in terms of being efficient.
Right. Great. So as a natural consequence of the pandemic, I'm sure you must have made amends to how your employee side is working or how the client side is working. So I'd like to know your thoughts on the initial steps that you took, addressing the working from home scenario, or from the client's end. What were the immediate marketing challenges? Did you stop some of your campaigns? Did you push it to some other medium? So if you could throw light on both the aspects.
Yeah. First, even though I have been in our organization, Wunderman Thompson, now JWT, earlier HTA when I joined, I have been in this organization for almost 25 years, besides a brief 7-year stint in media. And I thought I knew our organization very well, and I thought I knew our people very well. But this pandemic, even though I knew our organization and people, surprised me very, very pleasantly. First, as an organization, it was incredible to see a huge organization like ours, over 1,000 people, who managed within 24 hours to seamlessly start working from home. I mean, I was amazed at the speed at which, as an organization, the agility with which, as an organization, we responded to this crisis without any disruption or very minimal disruption in work. Secondly, in terms of our people, it's not easy to suddenly ask people, whether it's planning, client servicing, or creative people, to suddenly adapt to a new normal without dropping the ball, without saying, okay, I give you 1 week to get your act together and then we will start working on our clients. Because the clients responded, and they wanted us to respond very, very quickly. And I think I'm really proud of our people as to how they have managed so quickly adapt to the new situation that we found ourselves in. And I think working from home, therefore, for me, I've always been a proponent of giving people the flexibility to work from wherever they want to work from. I always believe that we should look at people's output rather than whether they are physically present in the office or not. So to my mind, both in terms of the agility, the resilience, and the alacrity with which we adapted to working in a new way, I think was incredible. Secondly, from our clients' perspective, I must say that a lot of our clients were equally responsive, and their people, their marketing teams were equally responsive in terms of the new ways of working. Our advice to our clients in the initial phase, especially when you're suddenly confronted with a precipitous drop in some industries, a precipitous drop in revenue, our advice to our clients was that while our clients and our brands' lives are disrupted, the consumers' lives are disrupted even more. While companies and brands are feeling challenged, consumers are feeling even more challenged. So this is not the time to abandon your consumers. This is the time to keep the communication channel open. Right? So this was our first advice. The second thing was, yes, of course, you can't pretend that things are normal. You can't think that the same communication that you had worked on earlier can work without taking cognizance of the fact that we are in the midst of a health crisis, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. So the communication had to change. It had to be more empathetic. It had to be more relevant to the needs of the consumers. So therefore, that was our second piece of advice to our clients. And a lot of the clients and the brands that we work with are really strong brands. And one of the learnings that we have had over many recessions over the years is that during a recession, consumers want to go back to the brands that they trust. So this is the time for big brands to actually dig deep and stay the course. Even if the spending reduces, it should not disappear. And one of the interesting things is that, while we are reacting the way we are reacting to this pandemic and the recession, global studies and done by Wunderman Thompson Global have shown that first, in terms of just the history, in the last 100 years, there have been 16 recessions. So this is not the first recession. And so we have been there, and maybe the recessions were not at the scale that this particular recession is, but there have been recessions. There have been recessions which have been global in nature. There have even been health and epidemic and pandemic related recessions. 6 of the 16 recessions in the last 100 years have actually been pandemic-led recessions. And we will discuss this later because I know some of the questions that you shared. But really, we have been through and gone through and passed through earlier recessions, and we will go through this recession too. The last thing we want clients and brands to be faced with is when the recession is over, and I'm not saying if, I'm saying when the recession is over, you still want your consumers to be with you. So during the initial phase, our strong advice to our clients was stay the course, don't abandon your consumers, because that is dangerous. This recession will pass. There is discussion about what kind of recovery we will have. The discussion continues even now, and we will debate that later on. But whatever the shape of the recovery, we will pass this like we have passed through the last 16 recessions, including pandemic-led recessions. Don't leave your consumers in the lurch. If you don't hold their hand now, if you don't keep your communication channels open with them now, you may lose them forever.
So as they say, in good times you should advertise, and in bad times you must advertise. So
Absolutely,
I think
right.
It's very, very important for a brand to keep that conversation going.
Absolutely.
So that brings me to my next question. Wunderman Thompson has a plethora of clients across sectors. What was your experience of the sectors that were most hit? How did the company assist them, and where do the brands stand now?
Yeah, okay. So I'm glad you have asked this question, because even when we were doing our revenue projections and stuff, being the company at the size that we are, having been in India for 80 years, globally more than 50 years old, even though as Wunderman Thompson we are only 2 years old, we have clients from just about every category. And in some respects, that's a fantastic thing to be in a situation like this when you are in a pandemic or a recession, because you are kind of hedged. On the one hand, you have got FMCG, which is not that badly impacted. On the others, you have got some industries which are more radically impacted. However, being the size that we are, we suddenly checked out that we have got in industries that are very, very directly impacted, a lot of clients. Aviation, hospitality, fashion retail, other retail like in brick and mortar retail, auto. I mean, in April, for example, auto sales in the country were zero. Right. So we have a large representation of our clients in the auto sector, not just automobiles, but also the ancillaries to the auto sector. So we had that. And then we had alcohol, a very large percentage, almost up to 70% of alcohol consumption is out of home. And if that source suddenly dries up, then where do you consume? Even beverages. Pepsi is, for example, a big client of ours. Even beverages, a lot of beverage consumption is out of home. So you are right. A lot of our clients were from industries which were very directly and very immediately hit, which is why with them, it is very important to find new and innovative ways to keep, as you said, the conversation going with their consumers. Not just in the regular way of advertising as we know it, but doing different things, and so that you stay relevant, you stay top of mind, even if you're not spending too much, but you're creating enough word of mouth to say, hang on, we are still there.
Yes.
So in terms of being innovative, giving strategic advice to our clients in these industries, it became even more important. And to me, that is where true partnership comes in. That is where, when we have to be genuinely true partners to our clients, even when there is no spending, we are still investing behind our clients and talking to them, discussing strategic options, figuring out how best we can help them and manage their processes. And that is why even strengths of Wunderman Thompson, or the new Wunderman Thompson, come into play, including, for example, e-commerce. One of the things that this pandemic has done is to increase people's attention to trends which were already visible. A lot of our clients wanted to spend more on digital. They wanted to give more attention to e-commerce. And then when the pandemic happens and the shops are closed and people are in lockdown, suddenly you realize that the things that you thought you had the luxury of time to devote attention to, you suddenly do not. A lot of things have got fast-tracked. And I keep saying that, in terms of stuff that we are learning from the pandemic, one of the key things is even consumers, even people in general, even us, we have managed to compress 2 years of tech adoption into 2 weeks. Right, so we have fast-tracked a lot of things. So this is where our strategic advice, our partnership with our clients came into play, because what you said is absolutely right. There are certain industries like FMCG, essentials, which were not that badly impacted. They still had to find newer ways to reach their product to the consumers. And one of the, again, important things about the recession and the learning and what we are sharing with our clients is that it is amply clear now that it's not just about the product. The consumers are not looking only at the product, they're looking at the product to solve for them. So you need a product solution. It's not just important to make a good product. In a lockdown situation, if you do not have a solution to reach the product to the client, then it's not complete. So yes, you're right. We have clients in industries which were very, very, very directly and immediately impacted. But again, the conversation with the consumers, the channel stayed open, the conversation continued. We just had to be much more innovative and resourceful.
Superb, sir. Sir, my next question to you is, there was a slew of campaigns from the brands. So would it be right to say that digital has taken over precedence and TV is not as much of a favorable medium today?
See, for starters, during this period, all media has suffered. If you go by some reports, in the first quarter, I think the drop was some 70% on television, and in the second quarter, some 45%. So, and similarly, even for digital spends also came down during this period. But yes, the share of digital spends is going up. And again, as I said, it is not a new trend. Digital spends were increasingly getting a higher share from the spends from clients. But again, I must, and I say this often enough, India is not just one India. India is many Indias, and which is why traditional media, whether it's television or print, is not going anywhere in a hurry. It will continue to be an important medium for some time to come. Many of our clients, if I name them, you will say, oh, wow, really? They are big clients, very high-profile clients in the FMCG space. And till today, 75 to 80% of their ad spends are on television and print. Right. So especially television. So to me, traditional media, as we think of traditional media, and you're referring to TV, it's not disappearing in a hurry. Especially when people are locked down in their homes, well, TV viewership also goes up. But going forward, and those trends are also pretty clear, including in terms of how our own companies, one of our digital companies, Mirum, all through the crisis, continued to show double-digit growth. because they are not just a digital company, they are digital and a tech company. And I think with all the attention that our clients and their marketers were now putting on digital, the digital companies' revenues are not slowing down. They're still growing at double digit, while the more traditional side of the business has been a bit more challenged, and forget growth has been actually degrowing in the last few months. Right, so the trends are absolutely clear. Digital will continue to grow, and that's obviously very clear. But as I said, we are not just one India; we are many Indias. And we are also a country which has still got a lot of headroom in terms of spends, in terms of communication, in terms of reaching people. And frankly, as far as we are concerned, as Wunderman Thompson, we offer end-to-end solutions. So for us, we are covered from data and technology and traditional to non-traditional to e-commerce. You name it, and as a company, we are in a sweet spot.
Amazing, sir. So this brings me to my next question. In today's fragmented communication landscape, is it true to say that the creative ideas need to be more platform specific as opposed to being more platform agnostic? What kind of an advice and expectation did you have from your creative team in that sense?
No, of course, you have to be platform specific. Gone are the days when you thought of, for a creative person, thought of a 30-second TV commercial and said, okay, so now the main piece of communication has been delivered. Now let's see how we can slice and dice this and put it on various platforms. Right. I think those days are gone. And today you actually have to think almost platform first and figure out as to how consumers interact on that platform. And in fact, recently we did an entire campaign which won us a lot of laurels, was the Facebook Thumbstoppers campaign, which actually was a campaign which started off from a medium, which is a phone. What kind of creativity and communication can you produce, which is seen on a mobile phone and seen for only 10 seconds? And that's how we need to think. And for that, one of the key things, and it's not, it's very easy for me to say, oh yeah, that's what we need to do and that's what we are doing. The critical thing for that is, as I said, people, and people's skills need to be upgraded. And which is why during the last 6 months, we actually had almost 80 training programs, online training programs for our people. And, our HR head, one of the most surprising aspects of all these training programs was the level of participation. We actually have had fantastic participation, up to almost 80% of people logging in. There is a fatigue in terms of screen fatigue, calls like this fatigue, and yet 80% participation on these programs was amazing. And the reason is that our own people, whether it's creative or strategy or client servicing or tech people, they realize that we need to upgrade our skills. And if we do not invest in our skills, things like this happen, and suddenly you realize that your skills are outdated much faster than you thought that they would be. So I think the important thing is for reskilling, and that's something that we have aggressively pursued, so that we can actually create virgin ideas on different platforms in different spaces, rather than what a lot of people used to, and some agencies still might be doing, is to create that one piece of television commercial or print campaign and saying, okay, now let's spread this around. That's not how we think.
Amazing, sir. So, very evidently, the pandemic has had dramatic changes in terms of the client expectations and business realities. What new strategies in business and communication are on the table for Wunderman?
Again, I'm saying what the client expectations certainly have been during this period has been the need for speed, responsiveness, innovation, being resourceful, being true partners to our clients. And I actually think that this is something that we have been able to do very, very well, starting from the get-go. And when I talk about being innovative and resourceful, as you know, production of films in Mumbai has opened up just about a couple of months ago. But even during the midst of the lockdown, we actually managed to produce films, even though our creative guys could not leave their society buildings, and the DOP and sorry, let me remove this. And the DOP and the film director was stuck in his own society, but we still found a way. The film was directed by our people on a Zoom call. The director used talent from his own society, including some of his friends and relatives, to produce that film. We have even had situations where we have done major productions, but the production was in a country in Southeast Asia where the COVID situation had relaxed and production was allowed, and we have done production even then. So clients expected us to be resourceful, and we were resourceful. Clients also sought a lot of strategic advice from us because being Wunderman Thompson, being a global agency, the fact that we have strong operations just about all over the world, including in China, what are the learnings from these markets? Because, for example, China, by the time we announced our lockdown, China was already on the mend. By the time we were 2 months into our lockdown and the economy being shut down, China was already opening up. So what are the learnings from there? What are the learnings from the US? We could bring that to our clients. We could bring our e-commerce knowledge to our clients. On e-commerce, that's a strong suit of Wunderman Thompson. And there are lots of learnings that we have globally on e-commerce. How is that going to change the way consumers are going to behave in India? We could bring that to our client. So genuinely, the client expectations were from us in terms of speed, responsiveness, resourcefulness, innovation, strategic advice, and also helping them to navigate the post-COVID situation as and when it would come in. So I think that's where I believe we have demonstrated true partnership to our clients.
Super. So let me ask you my last question for today. What have been the creative challenges and learnings and opportunities that Wunderman has seen this year?
Oh, it's been a fantastic run. When I say fantastic, it's obviously it's not necessarily positive fantastic. It's fantastic just in terms of a strange new experience and having to manage through this, and there are huge learnings, and there are, as I said, lots of encouraging signs. It was during this period of a pandemic that Wunderman Thompson was voted India's most creative agency by an international body, and we were and to me, to have that accolade is great. 6 months later, we have just a few weeks ago again been awarded handsomely at one of the leading award show in the country. And again, it's great for us. It is during this period that we produced some fantastic reports, whether it was to do with how to manage and negotiate this crisis, or on health, or on financial culture muscle. So we produced a lot of reports during this period. And I'm just saying, why I'm so proud of our people. During this period, we also formed our own band. It's called the Wonder Band. And it was amazing that this band, which I have been saying that, we must have a band, but somehow the other, it took a pandemic for us to form a band. And the band was actually formed because people felt that we needed to do something to cheer up our 1,000 staff members in the country. So this band got together between Bangalore, Calcutta, Mumbai, New Delhi, and all of them came together online to produce a fantastic song. It became so popular that it was played all over the Wunderman Thompson world. So I'm really, really proud of what we have been able to do. And it's not just, we have been talking about, working for our current clients, and we have done a lot of work for our current clients. But we have also found the time to pitch for new business. And I just, for this interview, I said, okay, just give me some data. How many new businesses have we won during the last 6 months? And I was astounded to know that we have won 56 new pieces of business. I said, people actually have found the time and have been motivated and passionate enough, not only to service their current clients, not only to manage their lockdown situation at home, not only to manage, kids and older parents at home, but to go out and pitch and win new business. That's been a fantastic learning for me. The other thing that's been hugely encouraging is the way we have collaborated. I've always been one to say, in today's world, one group of people can't know everything. We need to partner with others. And within the Wunderman Thompson Group, we are very lucky that we have those diverse skills, including Mirum, which is a digital company. And I just found that collaboration between our own offices in different cities and with other companies has just exploded. And then you realize that it has happened also because it's very easy to do. If everyone has to be, for me, whether you are in Delhi or Bangalore or in Mumbai, it doesn't matter because, technology has made things which seem to be very difficult now easier. So I just seen a huge amount of collaboration taking place. So it has actually been an amazing learning and an amazing run. And one of the things that I would like to actually talk about and say is, as far as the clients are concerned, normalcy is now returning. Even though we have not been able to beat the virus, I think it is very clear that we are going to slowly but definitely open up our economy. The most recent one in Mumbai is that restaurants and bars are going to open from the first week of October. Again, I'm saying we have to be careful. We have to learn from the experience of Europe and the US when things do open up, or the UK. Nobody wants a second wave. Nobody wants another lockdown. But to me, things are looking up. As I keep saying, whenever somebody asks me, how is this month? How are you doing? I say, well, March was better than May was better than April. June is better than May. July is better than June. So I think we are on the upswing. To me, this is the period where we are advising our clients not to hold back. I've always said that we have and this is something that we are sharing with our clients also. Within a crisis, all companies in a particular industry are almost equally impacted and affected. Coming out of the crisis is what will define which company is smarter, which company does better. And that's what we call the bounce back velocity. The smarter companies will bounce back much faster.
True.
The bigger brands, the smarter brands, the brands who have continued their conversation with their consumers will do much better. According to global research, 9 times better, 9 times faster. When we talk about V-shaped versus W-shaped versus U-shaped and L-shaped recovery, well, that's the economy. But smarter brands, for their own businesses, can actually aim for a V-shaped recovery, a sharper bounce back, if they do not pull their punches now. Cricket has started, very important for India. It's a great sign.
Yes.
The festive season is coming up. Pent-up demand is still unsatiated. This is the opportunity not to pull back. Don't pull any punches. This is, as we know, 40% or thereabouts of India's business happens in these months, coming up, starting now. So our advice to our clients is, whatever money you have conserved from your marketing budgets, this is the time not to pull back. This is the time to actually, it's not just about the revenue. One is, of course, the revenue, but there's a concept of share of voice, which you will know. But during a time like this, you can even hope for excess share of voice. A, because media is cheaper. B, because your competition may not be doing things that you would be doing. So you might get excess share of voice for the same amount of money that you spend, and that will translate into market share gains. So it makes huge amount of sense now to spend, and we are there with our clients, and I can tell you we have postponed any training program between now and end of November, beginning December, everyone is concentrating on helping and partnering our clients to maximize this period.
What an insightful answer, sir. I'm thoroughly impressed with all the efforts that Wunderman is putting in. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And with this, I'll end the interview for today. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I'm sure this interview will benefit the audiences as well.
Thank you. I hope so. And as I said to all our employees, the worst is behind us. The festive season is coming up. Cheer up, stay positive, and we will lick this pandemic.
Cheer up and gear up.
Yeah, absolutely.